You know, people ask what are the alternatives to the current prohibition policy? And some people, the famous economist Milton Friedman, our former Secretary of State, George Shultz, other leading conservatives, some leading progressives, argue that legalization of all drugs is the answer. And I think they make a very compelling argument, because it's undoubtedly the case that drug prohibition has utterly failed to protect people from drugs. It has generated enormous underground markets, crime, violence, corruption, what have you. But I think that looking at this realistically, there's no way that any of our countries, much less global society, could make the leap to total legalization. And I also don't know that total legalization is the right answer. It seems to me that with respect to cannabis, with marijuana, with hashish, the answer is yes, make it legal. Not because it's safe, not because nobody gets addicted to it, but because it is, relatively speaking, one of the safest drugs out there. And because regulating it, taxing it, controlling it, regulating it would make the most amount of sense, would benefit the greatest people with the least amount of harm. It's possible that the Dutch approach, the Dutch coffee shop approach, where you have the legalization of retail sales but the continued prohibition of wholesale sales, may also be a good option. And maybe in some cases it would be the best. With respect to heroin and cocaine, I don't really know what the answer is. But I know we need to begin with ending the prohibition and criminalization of individuals for using drugs. I know we need to have sensible penalties so that people, adults who sell drugs to other adults, are not punished more severely than rapists and murderers. You know, it's one thing to say we will keep the penalties on people selling drugs to kids. But I think we need to find a way to bring as much of the illegal black market above ground so it can become visible and regulated and controlled.